What's up guys, it's Marius from Audio Judgment, and today we have a 4th order bandpass build. The purpose of this video is not to teach you how to design one, but rather what problems arise when speaker building and how to fix them. This build had several problems and I'm not really sure that I fixed all of them. First problem was the amp. Nothing to do here, just got a faulty amp. If you remember a while back, I made a sealed box with this amp and it had terrible leakage problems. Dayton Audio told me that it is completely normal, and even though it looks like the amp is completely sealed, you should make a separate airtight chamber for the amp. That's what I did. I started a new project, this time a 4th order bandpass, with a separate chamber for the amp. No leakage this time. However, the sound was pretty poor. I don't have a recording because it's difficult for a microphone to pick up subwoofer sounds. The amp was pushing the woofer no problem, but it just sounded like above average distortion. I was detecting some port noise as well, though it was hard to tell which made more noise. Switched the amp to my desktop Yamaha amp and the distortion was much better. But now it's difficult to tell if it sounds good or not because I have full range sound and there are a lot of port resonances above the playable range of a subwoofer. I ordered a monocore plate amplifier and we shall see how it sounds when I get the amp. Next up, we're going to measure the enclosure. I find this step super important. Many people design their boxes correctly on paper, but when the box is finished, they have no idea if they did something wrong or not. Does it go boom boom in the trunk? Good. Now, if we compare the model response and the measured response, we can see that it's not perfectly linear. What I like to do is to change the numbers in WinISD till I get something that resembles the measured curve. So if I lower the sealed chamber volume, you can see that we are going into the right direction. And that got me thinking. I designed this box a while back and put it on hold till I find some time to make it. And I checked my box specs and the sealed chamber was set to 15 liters instead of 18. This means I intentionally made the sealed chamber smaller to fill it with damping material and therefore artificially increase the volume. Which I forgot. Whoops. But no worries, I'm going to fix it. You are going to make mistakes when speaker building, so you need to be creative on how to fix them. I got a large drill bit and carefully drilled in the interior side panel. This part is covered by the amp, so it doesn't matter if I made a mockery out of this panel. I just needed to be careful to not hit the speaker magnet while making the cutout. After that is done, fill the sealed chamber with damping material and then make a plug and seal it off. Nice. And now let's remeasure. I'm having a hard time finding a difference, about 1 decibel worth of difference in this area. Oh well, let's continue investigating. Let's bring out the DATs and measure the impedance so we can check out the resonant frequency. That is found in the dip between the two peaks, which is 44 Hz. So instead of 46, the tuning frequency is 44. Now it's basically identical with the measured response. And no, there is no way I can fix this at this stage. However, let me tell you why this happened. This happens because slot ports are deceitful. You calculate the length and the actual length might be different inside your box. This only happens when the port end is close to a corner or an opposing panel. Like in our case. The calculated length is this, but since the end of the port is so close to the front panel, the actual port length is this, which means that the port is longer and therefore the resonant frequency is lower. In the end, the response is not bad, just that it's not super linear like we calculated it, and it's important to know why this happened and to learn something from this experience. I'm going to wait until the new amp arrives and check how the sub sounds, because I suspect that the port is somewhat noisy. The only reason that there might be something wrong with the port is that the width is very low compared to the length. However, the port area is very large. Look at the port air velocity graph. It should be lower than 30 meters per second, and it's around 16 meters per second. Very good numbers, and you don't expect port noise at these speeds. But anyway, if all is good, I'm going to post on my website the building details if you want to make this exact sub. If not, I'm probably going to scrap it and try again with a wider port. Anyway, if in 1-2 months you see a build guide in the description, it means that the sub turned out great and you can build one yourself if you want. But for now, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more DIY videos, and I'll see you next time. Peace!